Authorities have apprehended the suspect in a moral stabbing investigation following an all-points bulletin. KNAB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Plat Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Plat Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. And our top story, authorities have arrested the man accused of stabbing a woman in Morrill on Wednesday. Police Chief Jay Muller says that Martin Palama was wanted for allegedly stabbing the 40-year-old victim, forcing her to seek treatment for non-life-threatening injuries at the ER in Scotch, Bluff. An arrest warrant charging him with use of a weapon to commit a felony, burglary, and other charges was issued, and Morrill police say that Palama was located and taken into custody early Thursday afternoon. Palama was arraigned on the charges this morning in Scottsbluff County Court. Well, the 44-year-old military man who had been on the lam since last fall and back in custody now has pleaded no contest to an amended charge. A bench warrant was issued for Corey Poorbear after he failed to appear in court for his September 20th preliminary hearing. Court documents say authorities found a sword, knife, suspected meth, and pills during the March 2023 search of his home. Last month, Scottsbluff deputies arrested Poorbear on his failure to appear warrant, and he has since pleaded no contest to charges of possession of meth and possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited person. He'll be back in court on March 26th for sentencing. And a Scottsbluff man who was caught with a sizable amount of suspected methamphetamine and a handgun in Kimball County last year has had his case set for trial in district court. 39-year-old William Zitterkoff II had pulled over and advised a trooper responding that he had a handgun on him, and subsequently more than 10 grams of suspected methamphetamine was located on his person. He is now facing a Class 1D felony charge of possession of meth 10 to 27 grams and possession of a firearm while committing a felony. A tentative 2-day jury trial is scheduled to begin on May 9th in Kimball County District Court. We'll have more news right after this.
Life Care promises us that we are looked after and taken care of properly.
If I didn't have life care, I would be probably scared to death about having enough money for when I got older or when I got sick.
Moving in here was an easy decision and in fact a no-brainer. I looked at it as actually buying long-term care insurance and in retrospect a good move.
One of the things that convinces me that we did the right thing is no matter what happens, we will constantly be taken care of.
The whole thing is just vital because you don't have to be worried about what's ahead for you. It's there, it's in black and white, and that's reassuring.
This is home. It has been from the day I moved in.
Welcome back. Nebraska U.S. Senator Pete Ricketts is demanding any deal on the border to include stopping the Biden administration's abuse of parole authority, which allowed for 1.2 million illegal immigrants to be released into the country last year. Ricketts says the federal government has a fundamental responsibility to secure our border.
Joe Biden's unprecedented abuse of parole authority is a fundamental driver of the national security and humanitarian crisis that's happening right now at our southern border. If we are going to make progress in securing our border, ending these abuses must be part of any border deal.
Ricketts says the law is clear. Our parole system is supposed to be about individuals with special circumstances and is not meant to be amnesty for those who just want to come here and work. He says the Biden administration is handing out paroles like Halloween candy and says this is a clear abuse of parole authority and must stop. And this week it was announced that Governor Jim Pillen and Major General Craig Strong of the Nebraska National Guard will travel back to Texas on Sunday to receive an in-person security update on the situation at the southern border. They will join Texas Governor Greg Abbott and more than a dozen other governors for a joint news conference following a security briefing. Pillen says the mission to secure the border is critical to the security of Nebraskans as well as all Americans. Last year, Nebraska deployed drone operators from the Nebraska State Patrol to assist with surveillance operations. During the summer, more than 16 members of the Nebraska National Guard conducted operations alongside Texas authorities to turn back and detain those illegally crossing the border.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scotts Bluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scotts Bluff.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
Logos in Gearing is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees, and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gearing.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the Scotts Bluff Body and Paint Ag Desk. Scotts Bluff Body and Paint, you're driving home our reputation.
Joining us now from the 2024 Cattle Industry Convention is Anne-Marie Bosshammer. She is the Executive Director of the Nebraska Beef Council. Of course, you all have a pretty big role down here, a lot of meetings to attend, and I know a lot of your board members are down here, right, Anne-Marie?
You're right. We have all of our board members here because they all serve on a national committee. The different committees are foreign marketing, consumer domestic marketing, stakeholder engagement, nutrition, safety, and innovation, and it's important for them to be here because this is where, like, all of the State Beef Council board members come and they listen to all of the proposals from the different contractors that utilize beef checkoff dollars to do programs, and this is where they provide that input. So it's really important for them to be here, to be engaged, and know about what all of those different programs are and how the checkoff is investing in them.
As a reminder for our viewers, the checkoff in Nebraska, you split the money. Half of it stays in Nebraska, if I understand that right, the other half to the national side. You're talking about the national dollars with those proposals, correct?
That's correct. So the 50 cents of every dollar that we collect goes to the Cattlemen's Beef Board, and then in September there is an operating committee meeting where there are 10 members from the Cattlemen's Beef Board and 10 from the beef councils that determine how those national dollars are going to be invested. And it's a very hard process. You know, there's over 12 different contractors that come to them with great proposals, but they have to make decisions because, you know, there's only so much in the budget. And so it's important for, at this level with this meeting, to have that really good producer engagement in those proposals and those ideas.
What have you heard about some of the proposals, some of the areas that the Beef Checkoff wants to focus on here moving forward in 2024?
Well, you know, always promotion and those kinds of programs. We just heard yesterday that the Anthem campaign that we started last year that focuses under the theme of Together We Bring More is actually really, really successful, and they have over a 70% view rate of all the videos that they've been doing, so that's good. So promoting our product always, especially during these times of inflation and so many different food choices, we always want to keep that top of mind. Research is also super important when we look at the dietary guidelines that are going to be coming out and just all of the different things that we have to defend against and talk about, whether it's sustainability or nutrition. We just have to have that research, that foundational research that really makes us more credible with the consumer.
Yeah, you bring that up. Of course, the price of beef has gone up, but people continue to buy it. That's something we often talk about on our program. So it seems like a success story for the checkoff, right?
Well, you know, it is a long-term program. It isn't something that just happens overnight. And, you know, one of our board members, Jeff Rudolph, always talks about the fact that when COVID hit, you know, we already had beefitswhatsfordinner.com filled with thousands of recipes, and so it was already there. And that's what I really think producers need to understand, is that we're not just thinking the next 2 months, we're thinking 2-3 years out, and how we can continue to better the opportunity for consumers around the globe to always be thinking about buying beef.
Several of your board members are interviewing for a position on the operating committee. Is that under the Cattlemen's Beef Board, and what's that role look like?
So there are 10 spots from the Cattlemen's Beef Board, and we do have a Nebraskan from the Cattlemen's Beef Board that is interviewing, and then there's 10 spots from the Federation of State Beef Councils, and there's 20 people that are interviewing. So it's an important committee because that's the one that decides how those dollars are going to be invested. So we really hope to see some of our Nebraska leadership get on that committee.
Your board, and then the boards that you're referring to, those are all cattle producers. I think that's the point we should mention.
You know, that's the really important thing. When you look at the 44 qualified state beef councils, there are over 750 producers that serve on those beef councils in a volunteer capacity. There's no packers, there's no retailers, they are producers. Majority of them are cow-calf operators, actually. And there's also some dairy folks and, of course, feed yards, but they're all producers that make these decisions because it is a producer-driven program.
What else is happening down here in Orlando that you want to mention?
Well, you know, we're just excited that we've got a good contingency from Nebraska here. There's a lot of meetings that they're going to be involved with. One of them today that's really exciting is a consumer market research update, so we can learn more about that consumer. I always love to hear about the consumer and their buying practices and their habits and what they think is most important, and that helps us then to make good decisions down the road. So a lot of great things that are going to be happening while we're down here.
Anne-Marie Bosshammer, the Executive Director of the Nebraska Beef Council, our guest down here at the 2024 Cattle Industry Convention.
Let's take a peek at your weekend community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
At Plat Valley Bank, we want to help you take advantage of every adventure. We know you have plans, goals, and dreams. Let us help you with them. Whether you are just starting the business you have always imagined or looking to grow your existing one, we have a business loan to fit your needs. Stop in and see us at Plat Valley Bank and let us help make your dreams a reality. You belong here. Plat Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And finally tonight, Nebraska Tourism announced grant awards totaling more than $600,000 in the combined application cycle of the Community Impact and Tourism Marketing Grant programs. Local awardees this grant cycle include the Gering Visitors Bureau, receiving nearly $6,700 for group tour promotions, the Oregon Trail Community Foundation getting $3,000 to promote the Old West Balloon Fest, and the WNCC Foundation with more than $8,000 for promotion of the Plat Valley Company's Monument Marathon. The commission received a total of 81 applications this grant cycle, requesting more than $1.6 million in funding. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.